Great to be able to get back on the field with players. What a good group, man. These guys, it wasn't as big a group as we normally have for the rookie minicamp, but boy, did they work hard and really did everything we asked them to do. And Brett's brought some good talent in here to where we could have a good camp. We did a lot of 7-on-7. We were able to hit the red zone today and 7-on-7. Didn't have enough linemen to go through an actual team period, but what we got done was tremendous. And these guys absorbed it, which was, it was a real pleasure to coach them. And again, I just appreciate the quality of the player and their effort as they got into this. Anyways, with that, time's yours.
Go first to Herbie T.O.B. Go ahead, Herbie.
Hey, Coach, good afternoon.
Hey, Herbie.
You mentioned the lack of the opportunity to have the players back here for rookie minicamp. And when you compare it to last year without a rookie minicamp, how much of an advantage does this year's draft class have, as far as the acclimation and learning process compared to last year? And I have another question after this.
Yeah, so listen, I just think you want to go into training camp with an understanding. So of the new things that you were able to study and experiment with, as coaches and then on the field as players to make yourself better this next year. So that's what this did. This gave them an opportunity now to hit phase 2 when the veterans are here with an understanding of a base understanding of what's going on. They're gonna have to strap it on when the veterans get in because it's gone fast. We're already 4 installs into it, and they're gonna have to catch up, and the number of plays and all those things are gonna have to catch up. But at least they have a foundation. And then I'd say the same thing for the veterans when they're able to get on the field. Now they've done this in the classroom. Now it's an opportunity to get out and walk through it, and then jog through it and then run it. And those steps become important when you go into training camp. It gives you an opportunity to be better.
Now, Nick Bolton, your second-round draft pick, obviously he doesn't have pads on yet, but how much does he come as advertised from what you've seen over the last 3 days?
Yeah, I'll tell you now, he had a nice interception today, actually, right in the red zone. So he's Tiger tough, man. I mean, he's out there battling, and you have to love it. He's got great instincts. He's very intelligent. Did a nice job. Now we're in shorts, and he's a linebacker. So I mean, I know he probably can't wait till we start hitting and that. But for this drill, for the drills here, he sure did a nice job.
Let's go ahead to Haley Lewis. Go ahead, Haley.
Hey, Coach, just wanted to follow up on what Herbie was saying about how beneficial it was to have the players actually on the field this year versus virtual, and kind of what was the benefit of that this year versus last? Yeah, so again, just the fact that you have an opportunity to go to the next phase. So they'll start phase 2 tomorrow. There's not a whole lot of rest here. They get to rest up and get off their feet this afternoon, but then they're right back at it tomorrow. And then listen, tomorrow phase 2 is mostly lifting and doing that, but there's a little bit on the field work where you can kind of go through some things shortly. I mean, they're short. It's a short day on the field, but for the young guys, just getting they're now going to get acclimated to the 4 installs that the offense has had and the 6 installs that the defense has had, and so on. They're going to get all of that. They're going to have to kind of catch up to it, and then they'll get some extra time. The rookies they get extra time tomorrow, and they'll get a little bit more coaching virtually there and get caught up mentally at least.
Let's go next to Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Andy. Wanted to ask you about a guy like Lucas Niang, who's coming back off of the opt-out, obviously. There's probably some challenges involved for him, but are there any benefits for a guy in his situation that you see coming back, maybe sitting out that last year? And Brad, I'll have a second question as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the pluses are he was able to keep himself COVID free, and but most of our guys did. So I mean, my credit goes out to everybody that was involved with that. But he he's done a nice job in this camp, Adam. I mean, he's a big man, like really a big man that has these beautiful feet. So I look forward to getting him back in the pads in training camp and moving around and and doing what offensive linemen do, the real football part of it. But till then, this gives him a chance to get acclimated mentally and physically as he goes forward. So I think it's a good lead up for him.
In his case, did you see any rust this weekend? Could you tell, hey, this is a guy who's been out of football for a year? And if you could, how did you see that?
Well, you can tell he's worked. The thing with this, Adam, is there was no offense versus defense with the lines. So we didn't have one-on-ones or any of that. And he had done all that during training camp. So like all players, it's going to that'll be a challenge down the road for him to get back into that. But for right now, he looked tremendous for what we were doing. Good recall there.
Let's go next to Harold Kuntz. Go ahead, Harold.
Hey, Andy, I want to ask you about Cornell Powell, specifically along with Trey Smith. I noticed that you took some extra time looking at them, kind of exchanged a little word with them while they're going through reps. I'm just curious, what do you kind of say to them to try to calm them down? Because they always kind of mention like, well, that's a Hall of Fame coach there. It's a little bit, I wouldn't say intimidating, but it's a little bit of a mesmerizing thing for them to say. What do you say to them to kind of calm them down and get them going? And what are you impressed by them both?
Yeah, I mean, listen, both of them just want to get better. And Mike Kafka does a great job with that. I mean, he spends a ton of time with those guys, the young guys, and just, he spends a ton of time with the quarterbacks, but that's one of those positions that when you start fresh, in one case, when you have a player that's never called a play in the huddle or, period, since high school, college, he's never had to get in the huddle and nail it down for the guys. So it takes a ton of time, and Mike's got the patience to do that. And I thought he did a tremendous job with those young guys to get them right. Plus, the more they know, the calmer they are. It doesn't matter who's around them. I'm not playing. I'm not the secondary. I'm not the linebackers. And so get to know what you need to know, and let's go. And then, that's a blessed room right there. They've got some good coaches in there. Obviously, Eric's in there every day, and David Girardi's in there too. So it works out well. There's plenty of coaching going on.
Right, we've got two more. We'll go Pete and then Sam. Go ahead, Pete.
Hey, Coach, wanted to ask you about the fourth round defensive end, Joshua Kando. What gives you and the defensive staff optimism that he could potentially be a contributor in his rookie season here?
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see how it all goes. But you got great work ethic. I mean, tremendous work ethic. He's very, very intelligent, and he's long. I mean, he's a big human being, and he's got long arms, and he knows how to use it. He's got heavy hands, they'd say. So, and then it's just a matter of him getting used to the scheme. He's got a tremendous coach, and so he'll get all the fundamentals down, and then he'll take it step by step and eventually go use them. Like I mentioned about Yang, I mean, it's rough on the O line and D line right now because they can't hit anybody and do their thing. So it's versus a bag.
And we'll go last to Sam McDowell. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Andy. Wanted to ask a follow-up on Lucas Niang. What, just generally speaking, what are sort of the concerns about a guy that hasn't played competitive football in a year? Like what specifically does Willie have to sort of catch up on because he wasn't actually in game action?
We actually came in better shape than he probably was last year. So that's that's a plus. He's been doing stuff, and so he came in and it looked like he got right back into it. So for what we asked him to do, he was fine. He's a very intelligent kid. I think you guys know that, but he's very intelligent. So just getting him back in the swing of things, it looked like he did that well.